Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Frank Basa from Nord Precious Metals. And Frank, love to get an update. Ever since I read your most recent news release where you were talking about a strategic acquisition you were making for Nord. How about we start there?
Yeah, well, what we're trying to do here at Tracy is actually going into production. Now, in Ontario, as of last year, they came out with a thing called a recovery permit, which really simplifies juniors like us to go into production. Originally, we are looking at going to production with our small, high-grade tailings deposit, which would have given us maybe about 500,000 ounces of silver, and then we have another property has the same amount. So it came to us, this other property, which is about 2.9 million ounces. And if the recovery permit is simplified, which it is, more than likely we might be able to go in production and start producing silver. So it's a large tailings pond, and it sits on some of the best ground in the area. And this whole area where we are, it's actually part of the Goganda camp, which is part of the town of Cobalt. It's a little distance, about 80 kilometers away. But they actually took out 60 million ounces of silver. And what we have here is about 2.9 million ounces left behind. And of course, there's tailings on our property as well. So we're looking at making one plant to treat all the material. We're going through the motions right now with the ministry. It's a major change from what were proposed originally. It's quite a large amount of ounces, and also the ground is ideal for us. We have had a lot of exploration success on these former brownfield sites. So hopefully, this acquisition will close somewhere before or about March, the end of March, and then we'll go ahead and start proceeding with processing the tailings and of course, expanding our exploration program.
And did I read this right? You've got nearly 3 million ounces of silver in the tailings?
And there's on the acquisition we're trying to do, there's a 43-101, which has 2.9 million ounces. And of course, they did a lot of metallurgical work on it, and they have about 82% recovery on it, which is excellent. And of course, you look at the price of silver, it went up above $100 an ounce. It's doing a bit of a what I call retracement. It's building a base, and I think we'll carry on as well. So I think we're in the right place at the right time with the price of silver, with the right deposit, and hopefully these things all start coming together, and we'll have a very good run with the price of silver and our exploration and production that we're going to do on this property.
You were talking about the right place at the right time. Let's talk about the place you're located because you're in the Goganda camp. The strategic acquisition is in Ontario. Can you tell us a
Yes.
little bit more about the advantageous and compelling reasons why investors out there should be going Nord Precious Metals?
Yeah, and most people not aware of actually the town is called Cobalt. There is a lot of cobalt here, but it was primarily mined for silver. And something like 500,000,000, 600 million ounces of silver were actually recorded somewhere in 1922 going forward. But they actually started mining here in about 1903. So from 1903 to about 1920, they never recorded how much silver was taken out. But the primary value here is actually really cobalt, the critical metals. So there's cobalt, copper, nickel. We're going to recover all those. But the real value, short term, and possibly long term, is silver. And the camp is quite well known. There was a time in the last century, we had the highest silver production globally for many, many years. So it's an old established camp. We found a lot of silver in our drill program. If you look at our website, you'll notice we have grades of up to 89,000 grams a ton. This is actually normal for the camp. I know most people have a hard time comprehending that, but this is normal. This is high grade. It's massive silver, and we seem to be able to find the material. We've had very good luck. So we've had grades, in a 10,000 gram range consistently.
And of course, perhaps the reason you've had such good luck is because you've made your own luck. You've been in this industry quite a while. Can you tell us some of the things that you've learned that have helped you get to where you are today and why this is an advantage for Nord Precious Metals shareholders.
Yeah, the thing is, I came here and worked for Agnico Eagle in the mid 80s. And then I found out there's a lot more silver potential here, and we did find a lot more silver for the company. In addition, we found a lot of gold. Actually, the real value when we were extracting the silver was the gold value in the bar. So it used to be about 3 to 5% gold in a silver bar, and on a monetary value, the gold was worth more than silver. So we found a lot of gold. So that's why we called ourselves not a silver company, but Nord Precious Metals. We did find a lot of gold here as well in our drill program, but we have to make sure that we're fairly confident that we can recover the gold with the silver. So we've had a lot of experience in the camp. We live actually up in Northern Ontario. The camp itself, Agnico, started here. Most people are not aware of it. But Agnico is now a $150 billion company. Started here, had a very simple model. We're following the same model, which is try to go into production as soon as possible. And this thing that the Ontario government came up with, this recovery permit, that should probably make us go into production sooner than most areas in the world.
Silver. Silver has been all over the news, breaking numbers, breaking all record highs. Then, of course, there was a correction last week. As an expert in silver, where should we be looking at the market and the price for
I
silver?
think silver went up too fast, and it was due for a correction. And I'm glad to see it. I know a lot of my investors over the weekend were really afraid. I said, look, it's going to build a base. I don't see it staying where it is now. I can see it at a higher price. And then if you go on a lot of these sites there, you'll see people of greater knowledge than I have on the price of silver quoting higher prices, basically saying that silver will close this year somewhere between 135 and 309 an ounce. I'm happy to see where it is now because we're in the money at this price range. But if it goes higher, we're good with that as well. But I don't see the price of silver coming down. What's it doing now is unbelievable. There's actually a critical shortage of silver. Most people don't know about that. But we're going to go into production as a primary silver producer, and our secondary byproduct will be the critical metals, which we'll send to somebody else for further refining. We have a signed non-binding MOU with a local refiner, and hopefully, that thing gets processed, and we also make money on our copper, cobalt, nickel. The actual value to our property is the cobalt. It's like a $3 to $1 ratio. So basically, for every $1 silver, you actually make $3 from the critical metals. So its potential is very good.
I noticed in your path to production a recent news release on how you're taking Nord Precious Metals forward. You were talking, of course, about an interview you did with CBC just over the holidays. And of course, you consistently draw your shareholders' attention to the fact that there's a $500 million critical minerals processing fund through Invest Ontario. Are you up for this fund, or can you tell us why you continue to bring and draw our attention to this particular fund?
Actually, it's kind of a nice thing that the government's done. Actually, there's more than one fund out there now. And the fund actually accelerates our ability to go into production. It's something, there actually some of the people are calling silver a critical metal. They're also making these high value batteries with silver as being part of the lithium ion battery component. So silver, I never considered as a critical metal. I did consider it always as a precious metal, but the government is offering us unbelievable opportunities here, provided you go into production. So I think we're getting to that stage where sooner or later we will be producing silver in addition, all our other critical metals. But this recovery permit that the province created will shorten our shorten our timeline, gets rid of all the red tape, and then we could probably go in production. We're targeting to do something probably later this year. Originally, we target something later this year for our small tailings deposit. But if with this acquisition, and we just spoke to the ministry last week, We're planning now for a larger plant to process the material. So we're waiting for another meeting with them. We asked for some certain changes to the recovery permit, and hopefully we get them, and then we'll probably go into a larger type of production of silver and, of course, the critical metals.
I just want to touch on, for those of you out there who may be new to Nord Precious Metals and are going, oh, this is a very interesting story. You have some very competitive elements with Nord, including the size of the Nord Precious Metals silver deposit. Can you just touch on that for us, please?
Yeah, the deposit is the land package is quite large. So what we've been doing, we chose to kind of establish ourselves in an area called Goganda because we feel in the last silver cycle it was the least explored area and the potential is the greatest there. So we started with a very small land package. Originally, we bought the highest silver grade mine that Agnico operated just before they shut down, which was in the late 80s. We bought it for $25,000. And as a result of our exploration work, now the cheapest property in the camp is 5 million. We're actually going to pay 6 million for this property that's next to us. So you can see how the value in a little over a decade went from 25,000 for a property, which everybody thought there was nothing here until we did a bit of drilling. We found some phenomenal silver grades. Then, of course, everything in the camp went into multi-million dollar purchases. You know, this is still the cheapest property at 6 million. The next one up there is in 23 million. There's other property just got sold for about 10 million. So the potential in the camp, and we're getting a lot of attention by a lot of juniors in the camp. It might be what it was years ago, probably the world's largest silver producer. Hopefully that happens.
So, Frank, will you be attending PDAC, and what should shareholders be looking forward to in this next quarter?
This year we didn't get a booth at PDAC. We normally do have a booth. So normally what I do, I just meet a lot of people. We kind of have a table at the restaurant and at the Azure, and then we seem to have a lot more meaningful conversations. I think it'll be pretty good. We were in Vancouver just the past week, and I tell you, it was the best Vancouver conference that I've attended in a long time. So I think with the increasing price of all our metals, of course, precious metals, but also the critical metals, I think it will probably be a very, very good conference.
Well, Frank, as always, we really appreciate an update on Nord Precious Metals. And for those of you interested in finding out more, please go to the following website. Frank, thank you.
Thank you very much, Tracy. Have a good day.